sad part about legal education is they don't teach you astrology or the ability to read people's minds.
Hello.
So I'm honestly not in a position to speculate and comment on what is the motivation behind the sudden springing up of Article 35A in public discourse. Maybe somebody sees a political incentive in it, and hopefully they act on that incentive. I'm hoping that will happen. So that is the limited answer to that question, which is clearly political, which I don't think I'm required to answer here. All I'm trying to say is, whoever has any incentive, as long as that incentive leads towards better integration of India, I'm all for pushing that incentive. I don't have a problem. Whatever may be anybody's incentive, as long as it brings people together and it destroys that bridge and destroys the barricade and makes it an indivisible, inseparable part of India, for me, that's enough. For me, that's where the means perhaps override the ends. Point number two. Point number two is, there are any number of judgments, according to me. Sir, whose phone is this? I think it's yours? Yes. Any number of instances where ordinances have been passed and legislative intervention has taken place during the pendency of matters. Okay? And if somebody wants to give the excuse that since the matter is effectively in the court of the court, there is nothing that I can do, I think the SC/ST Act, that amendment, will come back to bite them, because I think they amended it when the matter was still in court. So there are examples where, despite a court judgment, Indian governments have set aside the judgment through legislative intervention. There are examples where people or other Indian governments have initiated legislative interventions despite the pendency of proceedings before the court. So I don't think there is any paucity of arguments or there is any paucity of precedents on that point. The fundamental question is intent backed by political will, backed by concrete arguments, backed by preparation and execution down to the T. That's it. Beyond this, there is really nothing. You have to decide whether you want to aspire to be a superpower with this issue hanging on your head for the last 70 years. Because no superpower or no country which wants to be a superpower, I think, can ever aspire for it with this kind of a black mark and a blot on its record. I think that should not happen at all. You won't even be a regional power with this. I'm not saying, therefore, ride roughshod over everybody's rights. I'm not saying, therefore, you throw to the winds and the dustbin every legitimate consideration. But there cannot be any further arguments about who owns this particular place and to which particular country this land belongs. That's very clear. Kashmir belongs to India, and that issue cannot be the subject of any discussion at all. The question then is, what remains to be discussed with Pakistan? Nothing, according to me. No, nothing remains to be discussed with Pakistan. You are occupying. Will you sit and discuss trade with a trespasser of your home? What stupidity is that? But India cannot play, it can't play footsie on this particular issue. You can't blow hot and cold. You have a problem with that state, and you think that any slogan that is raised in support of that particular state amounts to sedition, then declare that country a terror country and declare the country an enemy country. You can't have it both ways, right? Take a decision, stick by that particular decision. Are you more dependent on sugar and onion that comes from Pakistan, or do you want Kashmir? That's the question. Next.